Hi guys, this week I want to talk about sales versus options. A lot of people understand the difference, but if you don't, this is a good video, and also some things that you need to get your head around when you're talking sales and options. An option, in the most basic form, when you are optioning your screenplay to someone, is that they're actually purchasing the option to buy it later off you, and it's normally an exclusive option. Otherwise, why would they pay you if they're just going to have to come back later and compete against other people? It's an exclusive option. So some people have said it's like when they rent your screenplay from you. Why would people option a screenplay? Well, they're not 100% sure that they can get the funding, or they think they know a director that'll want to work with it, or some actors, or they want to make sure that it's viable for them to make. So they don't want to buy it. Think of it as like a test drive. Imagine if you never got to test drive a car, you just had to walk in, look at it, read the brochure and buy it. No test drive, you couldn't see if it was going to, fit the things that you needed to carry in it, or whether, it was, if you had a tall sibling, whether they were going to fit in, or whether the kids would fit across the back seat, or whatever it happens to be. So you'd take a test drive. An option is a bit like test driving the script. They give you a small amount of money, depending on how, it's all part of the negotiation. But they give you a subset of the sale price. And then they do whatever they want to do. They take it to market, as some people would say. I work with a couple of people, producers, that when they option things, they go out and see if they can get finance. Now, I've got a good working relationship with them, but there is this huge grey area that someone options your script and then asks you to do work before they take it to market, as they say. Now, this is the real horrible sort of grey area. They don't own it, but nor do you own the work you're doing, because it's based on their work. You're collaborating with them. Suddenly it becomes a joint copyright thing. So you will own, so I'm going to do this with my hand, you own up to here when the option was signed. Now, all this extra work that takes it to here, and this might be a really good script now, you don't own that. Nor do they own that until they buy the script off you. So all this work belongs to no one and cannot be used. And because of the changes that are made, if you go back and enhance your original one, is it based on what you've done through here? So then would they have a claim back on your original one? I'm very hesitant to do work on optioned screenplays unless you can get an agreement saying any work done during the option is 100% owned by you, is yours, copyright, no matter based on any collaborative work or suggestions made by a third party. Copyright of any changes to the script to the sale is yours. Some people would balk on that. If I was a producer, I might balk at that, but unless I'm thinking I'm going to buy the screenplay. So I've got this grey area, especially since they had paid you for the option, so then it looks like it's paid work because they didn't eventually buy it off you. There wasn't a sale at the end. So was that paid work? Do they own that version, but you haven't released copyright? See what I mean? It gets really confusing really quickly. So I'm hesitant to do work during an option. The sale. And this is, I'm prompted because I've seen a few posts lately on forums where people say, I want to sell my script, but I'm going to put an option in there that says they can't change it. Okay. And I don't even entertain people that say the if game, when you say, well, people aren't going to buy a script off you if they're not allowed to change it. And then people come back with, what if it's the best script the world's ever seen? Well, then I don't entertain those games. It's childish and foolish. But here's a metaphor for you. You go down the road to buy a loaf of bread. You've got a nice little artisan baker down the road. Can I have a loaf of seeded sourdough, please? He puts the bread down. You plonk your money on the counter. And as you go to grab the bread, he puts his hand on it and brings it back towards him and says, what are you going to use it for? And you say, well, I'm sandwiches. He goes, no. Sourdough is a really good cooking bread. It's meant to be toasted or used in that way. I'll only let you have it if you promise to use sour cream, chives, and a poached egg. It's your bread. It's ridiculous. They've purchased your script. It is their script. It's theirs. They own it. They've purchased the rights. They can choose to make it, choose not to make it. It's up to them. It is theirs. It is not yours. Okay? Now, here's the reality. That's when I tell people, go make a short film. You will see that what is written on the page isn't what's going to end up on the screen for many reasons. An actor can't say a line, or suddenly you realise that this scene isn't going to work, or this scene isn't even really needed, or the emotions the actors put across in the scene contradicts what happens later on in the film. Go to any Blu-ray, if you've got a Blu-ray player, or your YouTube, and type in deleted scenes. If I find a good reel of deleted scenes, I'll add them in a link below. And look at the deleted scenes. You think, oh, I can see why they deleted that scene, because that would have made so-and-so look different, or that would have made a change in but they were in the script. I guarantee they were in the script. Now, if you had tried to shoehorn in a clause that says, once you've purchased it, you have to film it as written, even if you're the best writer in the world, people are going to say, well, his work's good, but he's a bit of a nut. Or the work's amazing, but she's impossible to work with. Or she has really stupid clauses in her contracts. She's got a lawyer that, if you probably get around that lawyer, they'll blame the lawyer, perhaps not the writer, but they own it. So, and that's the other thing too. I think it's a little bit, it would be in most countries, you can't put in your will that I'm going to leave a house to you, but you can never sell it. Once ownership is transferred, it's the owner's right to do whatever they want. The only thing you've got to think about in your sales contract is when you get the final payment. I do have a screenplay out there at the moment, which just dropped into development hell. And I'm talking to the producers at the moment about getting the rights back, because the final payment to me was based on the first day of shooting, and that never came about because of COVID. A lot of stuff happened. They shot a little bit of practice stuff. They tried out some actors. They did a bit of rehearsal shooting, did some site location scouting, but it just fell apart. So it's never really going to get made. And I'm talking about getting the rights back because I haven't made that final payment. So the way I'm going to get the rights back is if I can find a new home for that screenplay. If I can find a new producer that's willing to buy it off them and reimburse them, the rights will come back to me so I can then sell it to them, or they'll sell the rights straight away, and whatever cost I've agreed to or the sale price I've agreed over there gets paid to me. But so perhaps put that into your script as well, into your contract. See if they're, especially in this low-end indie part of the world, where your final payment is on the first day of shooting or at a time frame. So it's not going to sit there for 10 years waiting for the first day of shooting and you never get paid. Because basically what happens, that becomes a forever option. If they say, okay, we're going to give you $100,000 for the screenplay, $1,000. We're going to give you $1,000 for the screenplay. It's a single handheld camera horror film, actor and his girlfriend, she's covered in tomato sauce running around the house. It's a schlocky horror slasher film. And they say, we'll give you $1,000 for the screenplay. You say, fantastic. And they say, okay, we're going to give you a 10% deposit. They give you $100. And now the film never gets made. So you have basically given them an option for the rest of humanity for $100. Where it could have been a $1,000 sale, bang, done. It was the first thing you ever wrote. It was a bit of fun, not a problem. You'll have an IMDb credit, or you'll be able to download it for $3 or $4 off Amazon and have a party, have your friends over, and everyone has a laugh at how good or how bad it is. But it'll be read out on the day of your funeral. And he wrote a film. It was a horror film, and it was whatever. It's $1,000 for a bit of fun, but it could also just be $100, and you never see your film made. So it's, pay me on the first day of production or at the end of a time frame. Options are rental agreements. I would avoid doing work unless you've got who owns that work in the option agreement. I would also have the sales agreement built into the option agreement. So basically it's a sales contract, which the first half is an option. So it would read something like this. I'm selling it to you for $100,000. That $100,000 is payable on the first day of primary shooting, which is good for them. That means they've got the rights all together. So it's available on the falls due on the first day of filming, or within 2 years of the signing of this contract. If it isn't paid, all rights return to me. The deposit is 10%, and this acts as an option. And in this option, all work done during this option period remains the rights of the author until the final sales payment. Until the final sales payment, something like that. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those sorts of things. That'd be really good. It helps the YouTube gods like us. The book is on its way, trust me. Sorry about it. The book cover will be up here. And until next time, guys, keep writing.